Well, Sampath, you do say that, but you know, there's a phrase in Lutyens media or Lutyens circles that goes around that the current dispensation is the one which kills dissent. The current dispensation is the one that does not allow free exchange of ideas and, in fact, forces overwriting of history. I want to ask you, and I want you to give the liberty to you. No, I'm nobody to give the liberty, but since many media outlets, you say, refuse to even acknowledge or review your work, would you like to name some of the bookstores, some of these people who have said no to actually hosting the book of Savarkar in their stores or reviewing it? Would you like to name them and call them out, or are we in India still in that generation where we are diplomatic and we just like to carry along?
Now you're putting me in a spot. I would, I mean, I don't think the individual matters there, or an individual, media house or an individual bookstore matters. It's, I think, the larger attitude. And I faced this, Navika, earlier too, when, there was the Bangalore Literature Festival that I had founded, and because I'd written an article where during the award Vapsi drama that was going on then, and I was a Sahitya Academy award winner myself, and I had written an article in a leading newspaper as to why I don't think this is a issue that is worth returning a Sahitya Academy award for, and that it was politically motivated. There was a cancel culture, and a series of authors, very, very senior authors, all started, those whom we had invited to the festival and who had agreed to be a part of it, they all started moving out. There was a whisper campaign that this is a fascist festival, the organizer is a right-wing person, so let's not go there. And in a huff, I had to actually resign from the festival that I had founded. So this kind of intolerance that we find, I don't think it's a symptom now, right from Nehru's times. In fact, even in this book that I mentioned, after Mahatma Gandhi's assassination, 25,000 people belonging to various Hindu organizations, 20,000 of them only from the RSS, were all detained for no charges on them, only because a few of them were alleged to be ex-members of the RSS. And all through, in Nehru's regime, you see right from the first amendment, which put curbs on freedom of speech, to also the time when even artists and writers, the maximum number of books that were banned were during that time. Majroo Sultanpuri was put in jail for a year just because he called Nehru Hitler's dog or something like that in a poem. And much later too, even in the 1980s, even before Ayatollah Khomeini's Iran could ban satanic verses, India had gone ahead and banned it. So what freedom of speech and expression and its stifling of dissent after 2014 are we talking about, when it's been so much a part of our post-independent history, and we suddenly think it was milk and honey then, and all catastrophe broke loose 7 years ago, which is completely erroneous, both from my own personal experiences that I cited, and also to some extent from the history of the nation itself, as we see the long and tarred experience we've had with freedom of speech. This is not something that is right at all.